قلنا Conceptual Framework واخد بال حضرتك اللي هو الجايد لاين فور الفاينانشال ريبورتنج. and we said ان هو is consist of 3 levels, level 1 و2 و3. وكمان قلنا ان احنا we cover بقى الاوبجكتيف. اوكي last time we covered كمان the elements we stopped at the qualitative characteristics of information. طيب يبقى actually اللوجيك ان احنا we have an objective to achieve والobjective ده is actually related to the information to be provided للusers. Information provided to the users. In order to achieve the objective ده فاحنا we have to prepare financial statements أو annual reports. والannual reports دي include items اللي هو احنا we covered المرة اللي فاتت. طيب in the same time the numbers or whatever we are including must have something we call qualitative characteristics. Qualitative characteristics. What is qualitative characteristic? Criteria that should be in the information to make sure ان information دي is more useful than الايه other واخد بال حضرتك ايه decisions او to help the users to take more useful ايه decisions. طيب فلو بصيت هنا انا I have two primary او fundamental qualities. two fundamental qualities وعندي 4 enhancing qualities. طيب let's go first for the main fundamental qualities. طيب this was the objective as we discussed last time and this is the definition for the qualitative characteristics of accounting information. IASB اللي هو International Accounting Standard Board identify the qualitative characteristics of the accounting information that distinguish better or more useful information from inferior or less useful information for decision making purposes. يعني actually the qualitative characteristic ديت increasing the usefulness of information. Increasing the usefulness of information. يبقى actually first skip that now qualitative. This is the figure for the qualitative information. He is saying that we have fundamental qualities, relevance, and faithful representation. And every one of the fundamental quality had 3 components, 3 ingredients. يعني in order to have a relevant information, you have to achieve these 3 ingredients. In order to have faithful representative information, you have to take into consideration these 3 ingredients. And the enhancing quality are second level of criteria that we have to take into consideration in order to enhance the decision. All بقى fundamental and enhancing both must help in increasing the decision usefulness of the users اللي هم the primary user of the accounting information, capital provider, investors, creditor, and their characteristics. But we have to take into consideration the cost. In accounting, any decision to be made, any information to be generated or provided, we must consider the cost of providing this information, because if the benefit to be derived is less than the cost, actually I have to stop providing this information. We'll start by relevance, the fundamental quality, relevance. What do you mean by relevance? Like relevance is accounting information must be capable of making difference in decision. Relevant means important, related to whatever the decision that you are taking. And okay, it will affect your decision if you are going to know such information. Relevant, you must know this information because it will enable you to take the right decision. Type. In order to have a relevance information, this information must have the first ingredient, which is predictive value. What is predictive value? The information has a value as an input to your predictive process used by investor to form their own expectation about the future. يعني for example, if I'm going to look مثلا to النت income of the company أو الكاش flow of the company. Can that help me to take a decision regarding واخد بال حضرتك if the company is willing to achieve a larger مثلا cash flow in the future ولا لا؟ يبقى actually here the predictive value is the information that has value that will help you take decision in the future. What about the second بقى component أو ingredient اللي هو confirmatory value. Okay. Relevant information also help users confirm or correct prior expectation. طيب in the first component the predictive value حضرتك you expected some values and you took decision based على expectation ديت. It is the time now خلاص either to confirm أو to correct the prior expectation. يعني أنا I expected for 2020. طيب whenever I will reach for the end of 2020 كويس I will find out the actual values and I will compare it with my expectation. If it is correct, so actually I confirmed my expectation. If it is not, I will correct my prior expectation and I will take that into consideration for the next day, for the next period. What about the materiality? Materiality means information is material if omitting or misstating could influence the decision that user make on the basis of reported financial information. Materiality means relative importance of the numbers. يعني one number can be material in one company and immaterial in another company. يعني $10,000 أو 10,000 Egyptian pounds in one company maybe will be considered as material number. In other companies maybe it is immaterial. طب يبقى actually irrelevant information أو information order to be relevant it must has a predictive value help me to predict in the future. طيب after that information can confirm or correct my expectation بس on one condition ان information دي is material which means if you didn't know خلاص it will affect your decision. If I am aware that the founder of the company left the company maybe I will sell my shares in the company. يبقى the omission of such information can affect my decision. يبقى actually the materiality is the relative importance of that information. This is the first fundamental quality. طيب let's go for the second one. احنا we talked about the relevance. But what about faithful representation? Faithful representation means the numbers and description match what really exists or happened. يعني the numbers والinformation inside the financial statement or the annual report are actually exist or happened. طيب how to make sure ان هو they actually exist or happen? We have three ingredients. Completeness. All information that is necessary for faithful representation is provided. يعني the management included all the available information. This is completeness. This is completeness. And this information must be neutral. That the company cannot select the information to favor one set of interested parties over another. يعني the company, the management will provide all types of information, whether they are in their favor or not. Okay, they are not biased, and this information must be free from error. Will be more accurate, faithful representation of the financial items. Okay, يبقى actually faithful representation, I have to make sure that all information are exist or actually happen. So actually they have to be complete. All the information have been included on a neutral base, not to include the good news in the favor of the management only, and free from error, which means they have been reviewed carefully in order to find out واخد بالك their accuracy. طيب يبقى actually the two fundamental qualities خلاص relevant and the faithful representation, and those are the ingredients. طيب whenever you apply both relevance والfaithful representation خلاص I will go for the second level of quality which is the enhancing quality بقى. Enhancing quality. طيب how to enhance the quality? طيب first of all comparability. Information that is measured and reported in a similar manner for different companies is considered comparable. يعني whenever I will face the same transaction every year I will deal with it in the same way. This is comparability. طب okay, another example. لو أنا I providing the financial statements in the same format يبقى actually this is comparability. لما whenever I present in the financial statement the current year compared to the previous year, this is comparability. يبقى comparability will enhance okay the user to understand that the company is consistent in applying accounting principle. طيب verifiability occur when independent measurer using the same method obtain similar result. Part of that is due to the auditor. ما هو auditor to be considered as independent measurer. So whenever he will come and apply مثلا re-performance for the depreciation method and he obtains the same result, so actually these numbers are verifiable. And the information must be available to decision makers before it loses its capacity to influence decision. Of course, timing is very important issue in information. يعني whenever you know information, you have to know it on the appropriate time. Otherwise, the information will lose its capacity. Okay? Right. Understandability is the quality of information that let reasonably informed user see its significance. يعني we are providing the information in understandable way that the others can understand, that the users can easily understand. So actually here بقى those are the enhancing طيب actually identify the qualitative characteristics to be used given the information provided. طيب qualitative characteristics being employed when companies in the same industry are using the same accounting principle. Which criteria is that? The same different companies are using the same accounting principle, so it is comparability. Right. What about the second one? Quality of information that confirm users' earlier expectation. يبقى actually the right answer is confirmatory value. Imperative for providing comparisons of a company from period to period.
مش predictive
imperative providing comparison of a company from period to period طبعا ده comparability. Imperative لا ignore the economic consequences of a standard or a rule. يبقى it is neutrality. طيب require a high degree of consensus among individuals on a given measurement. يعني of course طبعا this is verifiability. طيب what about predictive value is an ingredient of this fundamental quality of information. يبقى actually predictive value is an ingredient of relevance. Okay طيب what about the qualitative characteristics that enhance both relevance and faithful representation. Actually طبعا هو is saying qualitative characteristics. So actually he is talking about the enhancing qualities. Neutrality and completeness are ingredients of this fundamental quality of accounting information. We are talking about طبعا faithful representation. Type 2 fundamental qualities that make accounting information useful for decision making. طبعا he is talking about ال two fundamental يعني faithful representation and relevance. طيب what about issuance of interim report؟ طبعا interim issuance of interim report is an example of what enhancing ingredients. الانترم reports هي reports to be issued for period less than 1 year.
The timeless?
Actually yes for sure this is timeless. طيب very good. يبقى actually now احنا we finished the qualitative characteristics, elements and objectivity او objective of the reporting. طيب then we will move. يبقى احنا كده we finished the first level and the second level. we will move further to طبعا this is the part that we covered last time. Okay. And we reached now for the third level. And the third level including assumptions, principles, and constraints. Okay, طيب. Let's go for the assumption. What do you mean by assumption? طبعا level number 3 are concept explain how companies should recognize, measure, and report the financial elements and events in the record or in the financial statement. Right. Let's go for the assumption. What are the main assumptions of accounting? Okay, the first one is the economic entity. What is economic entity? Economic entity the company keep its activity separate from its owners and other business units. يعني in accounting we are keeping record for the company, not for the owner of the company. We consider the company as a separate entity from the owner. So actually we are recording only transaction related to owner. Okay. يعني second assumption, which is the going concern, the company to last long enough to fulfill objectives and commitment. طيب main objective or commitment of the company is to achieve profits. طيب as long as the company is achieving profit, the company will last forever unless the company faced something that will prevent it from existence, like مثلا recurring losses. Once in the company started to face recurring losses, يبقى actually here their going concern will be impaired. يبقى going concern we assume in the company will go forever or long enough to fulfill the objective or the commitment. Periodicity, company can divide its economic activities into time period. يعني the company is going long enough to achieve the objective, but we need to periodically evaluate the performance of the company. طيب how to do that? to divide the life of the company into periods. This is why we are issuing annual financial statement or even quarterly financial statements in order to enable the users or the investor to evaluate the performance of monetary unit. Monetary unit, money is the common denominator, which means in accounting we cannot see anything that cannot be measured in cash or in money. يعني anything we cannot value with money, we cannot record it in our books. The last one is the accrual basis of accounting. Transaction recorded in the period in which the events occur. طبعا accrual base is the opposite of the cash base. In cash base we record the transaction including cash in or out بس. But in accrual base we are recording the transaction, okay, whenever the transaction occur. يعني if you purchase something on account, you will record it. You sold something on credit, you are going to record it. Regardless did you receive the cash or not. طيب, let's go for testing your understanding. طيب, he is saying that the economic activity of FedEx Corporation are divided into 12 months periods for the purpose of issuing annual report. يبقى actually this will be periodicity. طيب, Total does not adjust amount in its financial statement for the effect of inflation. Whenever we are talking about amounts, we are talking about the monetary unit. Barclays reports current and non-current classification in its statement of the financial position. طبعا we are talking here about going concern, because actually current and non-current we are making available resources for the current period and for the future period. The economic activities of 2K Rapper Industries and its subsidiaries are merged for accounting and reporting purposes, and this is what did you study in 305, اللي هو consolidated financial statement, in order to make it one economic entity. Right. By that we finished the first part of the third level, which is assumption. Next time inshallah we are going to discuss principles and constraints.